Na 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 na, motherfucker. Na 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 na, the motherfucker. What's up, you guys? I'm filming in my bathroom today because my overhead light in my bedroom burned out, and it's way too high for me to reach right now. It's like it's kind of half burned out, so it's just doing some weird haunted house flickering shit. So anyways, I'm in here for today. This is my bathroom. Okay, so wow. So the new episode, obviously, spoiler alert, if you have not seen the new episode, please don't watch this. New episode of Helluva Boss came out just this last weekend, the Apology Tour. And boy, we all thought the full moon was going to be the bad one that was going to be upsetting, and it was, but this kind of like was preparing everyone. I felt like the full moon kind of bent everyone over, and then this episode just kind of kicked everyone face down because wow, this episode was so good, and the two songs in it were so good, but holy shit, was this episode so sad. I feel like a lot of us were kind of watching it just like, so what happened in the Apology Tour is literally the next day, like after we have the confrontation between Blitz and Stolas. Blitz comes back and is like, hey, why aren't you, paying attention to me and stuff like that? And Stolas, for once, is not happy to see him. He's just kind of like, and just lets him know, Blitz just keeps not reading the room and just keeps trying to, just try to fix things with sex and keep, insisting everything's fine. And Stolas is like, no, I'm not cool with you right now. And, he lets him know, he asks him, are you even sorry? Do you have any remorse? Are you even sorry? And it seems almost like Blitz is going to apologize to him, but then he just kind of lets him know, I can apologize to everybody. He goes, except you. And so that's why the episode is called The Apology Tour, because he goes off and apologizes. Almost everybody believes he's fucked over. While he's talking to Stolas in the beginning, Stolas lets him know he got an invitation from Verosika to a party she throws every year called the Fuck You Blitzo Party, where she gets together with everybody who Blitz has fucked over, and they get together and kind of heal with each other from the pain that he has caused. There's a part in that where they have a plushie tied to the stake they're burning, and it's this plushie. I was holding it watching the episode. I was like, so he goes off, apologizes to everyone, and then decides he wants to apologize to Stolas. So he goes to the party. That's literally everybody who hates him, and kind of puts on a little disguise and hides. And Verosika brings Stolas up on stage. She's like, oh, hey, Stolas, Blitz's most recent ex. You're amongst friends here. It's okay, honey. And there's a huge cake shaped like Blitz. And she's like, you know what? You want us to help us cut the cake? Which should be like the neck or the dick? And that's right. Nobody wants his dick anymore. And so Stolas gets up on stage with her, and he sings a song about how he feels about Blitz. It's the first time we actually hear him do this kind of song, because all of his stuff has always been these beautiful ballads and all these beautiful kind of, serenades and stuff. And it was kind of it was a little hard to nail down the genre. People were suggesting that because he hadn't sang a song like this before, he was kind of switching genres. And it was a little country pop rockish with a little emo thrown in there, but it was good. But he came up and sang a song called All To You, You Motherfucker, which that's what I was at the beginning, because that's how the chorus, when he's singing, the two of them in the back, he goes, na 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 na, you motherfucker. And he sings, pretty much in the song, he sings that he made a mistake of letting him get too close, because he's starting to realize that, or what he thinks right now is that maybe he didn't mean anything to Blitz at all. And he wants to not care about him anymore because he still does care about him, but he's starting to realize he doesn't want to because he's seeing him for what he is, which is a motherfucker. And Blitz is in the audience listening to this, like, for seeing, he's heard Stolas sing before, but he's up there singing negatively about him. And when he goes and talks, he goes up to Stolas afterward, like, hey. And Stolas is fucking wasted, which he's not used to seeing, which is allowing him to speak a little bit more openly. And Blitz actually gives him a pretty genuine apology. He goes, the person I really only wanted to apologize was you. He goes, I never thought that you would care about somebody like me. You're a prince and I'm an imp. And Stolas basically, he goes, there is a crowd of people here who cared about you so much that they get together once a year to celebrate how much they fucking hate you. Like, that's how much they cared about you. And Stolas, he goes, why are you here? He goes, why are you here right now? Just leave. You're making me feel sad. And as Blitz is kind of trying to, reach out and connect with him, I missed a part. Stolas, he goes, you know what I want? He goes, I want to feel wanted. I want to be someone. I want someone to care that I'm there and want me to be there. He goes, I want to be standing at a train station in the rain and for someone to go, don't, Harriet, don't get on that train. It's going to London and I love you. And Blitz goes, Stolas, that's a rom-com. He goes, oh, fuck you. Like, he goes, I want to feel wanted, to be loved, which is something that Blitz isn't given him. And as they're talking, somebody comes up to Stolas and he goes, hey, great song. You sing amazing there. And nice song. And Blitz is like, yeah, he sings great. We're fucking talking here. And he goes, I just was wondering if you want to dance. And Stolas is like, you want to dance with me? Like and he looks at Blitz, who did, I will admit, kind of have the option to say no, but he just goes. So he goes out and dances with the guy, and he goes up and sits. Blitz goes up and sits and watches what's going on, and that's where he sees Verosika, and she's basically like, what the hell are you doing here, fuckwad? And he kind of, admits what's going on, and she goes, what, do you expect me to feel sorry for you? And then we get kind of a look finally into why she hates him so much. She goes, how the hell do I think I felt when my fun-loving boyfriend decided to just up and leave because I made the mistake of saying I love you? She goes, it was the most embarrassing moment of my life to have been vulnerable for once, and your response to it was to fucking ditch, And she goes, I still hate the fact that you make me feel like a bad person for hating you. And he goes, I don't want to be like this, not forever. And she kind of smirks at him, like I think she's glad that he has the ability to change. And as he's watching Stolas, he starts making out with the guy, and he gets really pissed. I think he calls him a bird. The guy calls the guy a bird-stealing cockbag or something. But Verosika, she goes, hey, if you want to show him that you've changed, then you need to say, good for him. I hope he gets laid tonight. Whatever. And then she goes, here's some cake, fuckwad. And it's the part of the cake that's the heart. Like, she basically gave him his heart. It was so symbolic. But when he's watching Stolas dancing, he can see this look of happiness on his face that either he hasn't seen before, or maybe he realizes he never gave to him or whatever, but he leaves. And that's how the episode ends, is like that. And I'm like, there's music playing in the background, a song that Verosika sings called I'm Over You, which he's trying to get away from in the party, and then when he goes out to the car and turns on the radio, it's the song, and the episode just ends with him dropping his forehead on the fucking horn. This episode, I know, was important for a lot of people. I know a lot of people are having trouble with it, because I know so many people support their relationship, which was just called Stolitz. They're called Stolitz. But this is realistic. It would be really nice that everything would have been okay and worked out that way, but when you're in a situation where you're not treating somebody well like that, and you're not being respectful to their feelings, or when one person is giving so much and the other person is not giving enough, then it's going to get to a point where that other person is going to not it's not going to be enough for them. You know, they're going to want more than just being breadcrumbed. They're going to want that kind of love that they're putting forward. And if the other person isn't willing to put forward to do the same, or at least maybe take the time to look into their heart and see if they feel the same way, you know, and Stolas obviously has been very patient with Blitz and trying to do these kind of things because he loves him. But once he's seeing this right now, you know, it's I know a lot of people needed this episode, because when you get stuck with somebody that you really love but it's not healthy, it sometimes doesn't ever seem like you're ever going to be able to walk away from that. And then when you finally do, it's not always just so completely easy. It's sad and it's confusing, and you're going to still want to care about that person, and you're going to want to try to keep focusing on having something better. You know, it's not always going to be as simple as just letting him go. That's why I ended the song with Verosika. The way she sings it, she goes, "I may not be over it, but I'm over you." And that's the truth of it. You know, you'll hold on to the pain of relationships ending, but eventually you'll move on from it. And because that's what, you know, the healthy thing to do is. And there are people out there who are unhealthy, you know, who struggle with stuff, and who maybe be in a situation where a relationship ended, and instead of handling it correctly, they're, you know, either beating themselves up over what happened, or, you know, not moving on and having trouble moving on. And then there are people who don't do good things. You know, this is not an example of the episode, but I'm just saying is that sometimes with people, when a relationship ends, they don't feel the relationship should have ended. So instead of accepting it, they screw around with the other person's life and, you know, almost try to punish them for the fact the relationship ended, instead of just, you know, moving on with their time. And, you know, it's sad sometimes when they have to look back on the way that they acted when the relationship ended, because if they do have the ability to have a moment of self-reflection, they can go, "Oh, that was really crazy," you know. But sometimes they don't. So I hope for all the people out there who have struggled with ending a relationship with somebody who's not good for you, I wish you a lot of luck. And I hope that things go better for you. And for the person that you ended the relationship with, I hope that they're getting better in their life and doing things in a healthy way. And if they're not, and if they're doing things that are unhealthy, then maybe they just need to fucking burn. You know? So, yeah, this episode was really, really something. It also came out the exact same day as another episode of the show, Brandon, you know who voices it there, his show Class Acts, which I'm not gonna totally divulge into that one, only because I haven't really talked about the show very much before. I will just say go to the channel of Brandon Rogers and watch it if you have not. His work, what I love about it, it's such an amazing combination of stuff that it's funny and sexy and gross, but it's also can be really serious at times. But usually when he does serious stuff, it'll be like a twist, or at the end of something funny, you're like, "Oh my God," or it'll be like a moment. And I have had, I think once, I don't remember, it could have been once, I think, with some of his work, where I saw something in it and I was just like, okay. This episode, I could see why a lot of people in the comments were saying they were crying over it, because I, at the end of it, was like, it was so beautifully done that I can see why Class Acts is so important to Brandon, and why he is putting so much emphasis and work into it. This is probably the finest work that he has done besides his voice acting. And yeah, wow, I was really blown away at the end of the episode. I was like, wow, holy shit. I have personally dealt with some of the stuff that's going on in that episode, so it hit some personal chords. So yeah, that was, and I obviously highly doubt Brandon would ever watch this, but just in case he ever was, Brandon, thank you for making your work as effective as you want it to be. And that was quite an episode. Seriously, thank you. Anyways, so this is my thoughts on the apology tour. I will not be doing any more videos about Helluva Boss episodes probably until October, because that is when the next episode comes out. We have a little gap here, so everybody has to have their heart broken for a while. October will be Ghost Fuckers. November will be Mastermind. And then the big season finale will be in December for Sinsmas, which, as I understand, that's kind of taking the Blitz Stolas thing, like it's going to come around, there's going to be a resolution there, because Vivian Madrano, who created the show, has made it clear to us that these two are supposed to eventually end up being a couple. She didn't say how or when, which is... Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so that's my thoughts on that, and I'm sure the rest of you are as... Yeah. That one hurt, this one hurt. I think we're all on the same page. We're like, wow, that hurt. But yeah, that wraps us up, and have a good one, you guys.